In the last part, we saw how strong Jinwoo reached in his fight against Barca, and how he began to master his shadows more effectively. Hi, my name is Gyro. I make anime recaps. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to support me in developing my work further. Okay, let's back to our story when Jinwoo and Jinho completing the 19th and final raid needed for Jinho to be a guildmaster. Jinho is in shock as he sees Sung Jinwoo's shadow army for the first time. The Shadow Soldiers work efficiently in their latest raid, slaying magic beasts and even harvesting the dungeon's essence stones for them. Jinho is briefly convinced that he's been replaced, but after the raid and subsequent mining of mana crystals, Jinwoo and Jinho celebrate the completion of the guild raid requirements with beer. Jinho still has to complete a written exam and convince his father to let him take over their family's guild, but he's close to his goal. Jinho tells Jinwoo about how his older brother of 10 years came to dislike him and never spent time with him, so he wishes Jinwoo was his older brother. Jinwoo smiles and says kindly that, starting today, he considers Jinho his younger brother, which makes him shed a few tears of joy. Elsewhere in another dark dungeon, an unknown man on a wrecked ship-like dungeon advancing on an English-speaking man in full armor. The English-speaking man is terrified as it's clear that the unknown man took out his allies. He can tell that they have a language barrier, so he tells James in English that he's human and wants to go home. He is taken into custody by the Americans, who call upon S-rank Hunter Wong Dong-soo fresh from his Korea trip to talk to him in case he's dangerous. The strange man claims to have been trapped in a gate over 10 years ago, emerging from a gate that appeared in the United States. Since he emerged from a gate, there's no way of knowing if he's some kind of human-shaped monster. When Hwang Dong-soo arrives, he comes with his characteristic arrogance and the strange man's cryptic musings about how little humanity actually knows about the gates, the dungeons, and the magical energy that now permeates the world only make him bolder. This man is revealed to be none other than Sung Il-won, the father of Sung Jinwoo and Jina, who went missing around 10 years. Il-won claims that his goal is to prevent a disaster from happening, one that not even all the hunters in the world would be able to thwart. Dong-soo rids Il-won's file and learns that he's Jinwoo's father, unleashing a murderous aura as he tells the talking magic beast that he should meet Jinwoo, whom he believes is already dead in hell. Jinwoo gets ready to leave for a week-long trip to the Demon King's castle. His sister, Jina, comments that he's been busy lately. Jinwoo has the elixir of life on his mind and wants to gather its required ingredients to cure his mother from her strange illness. Entering the castle, Jinwoo is shocked when the system assigns him a quest to kill 10,000 magic beasts. Determined to save his mom, he accepts. As Jinwoo clears the castle's floors, he gains levels while progressing up the tower. He summons a shadow ice bear and names it Tank to help speed up travel. Reaching the 50th floor, Jinwoo confronts avaricious Vulcan, a gigantic orc demon who is faster than he looks and severely outmatches Jinwoo in terms of strength. The battle against Vulcan is short but really exciting for how dynamic the animation is in this scene. Jinwoo's confidence has grown, and the way he deals with Vulcan's immense speed and strength shows how used to dangerous situations he has become. His dramatic finisher on Vulcan earns him several new pieces of gear and various rare items. When Jinwoo's army advances on to the next boss, Metis, Guide of Souls territory, he drops a solid Vegeta reference when he asks if the undead can experience fear. After putting in a solid shift, Jinwoo only has one more ingredient to hunt down before he can make the holy water. Jinwoo eventually runs out of time and supplies on the 75th floor. The journey proves valuable, with significant level gains, another secret dungeon key, and 2 of the 3 components for the elixir of life now in his possession. Opting to head back home for now, not knowing just how much commotion awaits. When we cut back to LH1 and Dong-soo, we're met with the scene of firefighters rushing to douse the blazing fires around what used to be the building where Hwan was being held, with the Dong-soo sprawled in the wreckage. The lack of damage to the immediate surroundings led the workers to a terrifying thought. Hwang Dong-soo was defeated in a mere instant, before the catastrophic damage that comes with the battle between 2 S-rank hunters. While planning for his next visit to the Demon Castle, Jinwoo comes to make a dramatic decision that will have massive consequences for the very delicate balance struck between the 5 major hunter guilds in Korea. He decides it is time for him to get his rank reassessed. And just like when Jinho did it in Season 1, Jinwoo places his hand on a machine that measures the concentration of mana in his body. This time the contraption is unable to get a rate on his levels, leading the operator to call on one of her superiors to look at the possibly faulty machine. The superior is taken aback as he explains that the machine only returns that error in situations where the hunter in question possesses an immeasurable amount of mana. The revelation leads to Sung Jinwoo being reclassified as an S-Rite, the 10th in the history of Korea. The news quickly spreads and the major hunter guilds swoop in to try and sign Sung Jinwoo, with Hunter's guild leader Koi Jong in the first to try. However, Jinwoo coolly walks past him as he opens his mouth to speak. After being contacted by someone who was present for the reveal, White Tiger guild leader Baek Yoon-ho rushes to the Hunter Association to speak to Jinwoo. When Jinwoo goes to the hospital to visit his mother, he runs into Woo Jinchul from the Hunter Association, who tells him that the chairman would like to have a word with him. Gunny explains to Jinwoo that they are currently on the cusp of collapsing the balance that has been established between Korea's top 5 guilds. The nation's greatest advocates right now are not the government but the hunters who protect people from magic beasts. The core of this is the 5 largest guilds. It's like 5 great dinosaurs maintaining a delicate stalemate against each other. But if Jin would join any of them, the balance would collapse. The Hunter Association is vital to the nation as a deterrent to them. A sixth power, Gunny wishes for Jinwoo to join the association, but the chairman is shocked when he hears that Jinwoo has no intention of joining any guild. The deal that Gunhee wants to give Jinwoo is incredibly sweet, guaranteeing a key role within the association and career prospects. Knowing that Jinwoo has been paying for his sister's education and his mother's medical expenses, the chairman plays a good hand in trying to bring Jinwoo on board. But he refuses. The chairman thinks that it's all about money, but Jinwoo is more motivated by the fighting itself. A job in the association would take him away from the battlefield, which he belongs to. Then we shift to Dongsu. After being thoroughly defeated by Sung El-won, Dongsu is nursing several broken bones. The deputy chief of the American Hunter Association comes to ask him what his assessment of El-won was, and a bitter Dongsu tells him that there's no way he could be human. He recalls El-won threatening him, telling him that if he does anything to harm his family, not even death will be enough to save him. Dongsu plots to find a powerful artifact that will give him the upper hand when he eventually challenges El-won again. While planning for his next visit to the Demon Castle to complete his collection of the ingredients required to craft the elixir of life, Jinwoo tries to get his hands on higher quality gear, as well as sell some of the loot he got in the aftermath of the battles against Vulcan and Metis. The problem he faces is that there's no way for him to justify why an E-rank hunter like him would have such high-level gear, especially when there's no record of him going on any A-rank raids. Lucky for him, there just happens to be help wanted for the mining team of an A-rank raid conducted by the Hunters Guild. Go Gunti and Woo Jinchul discuss Jinwoo, looking over his files from 4 years ago and seeing how much he persevered to make it this far. When the chairman hears that Jinwoo will participate in a Hunters Guild raid, he's disappointed to learn that it was ultimately money that swayed Jinwoo's decision, not knowing in what capacity it is that Jinwoo is participating as a miner. The power of Choi Jong-in's strike team is made abundantly clear as he clears scores of enemies with his powerful fire magic, making it possible for his team to make it through even an A-rank gate unscathed. When the strike team emerges from the gate, Chae-in had very nearly noticed Jinwoo's powerful presence, showing that her reputation as a powerful hunter is not misguided. Then Jinwoo and the other miners enter to harvest materials. During their lunch break, the workers leave the gate, giving Jinwoo the perfect opportunity to have a look at the boss room. He knows he shouldn't beat the dungeon boss because that will bring attention to him that he's been adamant he doesn't want, but he can't help himself. The boss in this dungeon is even stronger than Metis. Just as he's about to enter, Chaehan appears.